Quaid Azam, part 394. The Nawab approved of the idea very much, but then I continued, you have got to do something very important before we discuss the matter with others. You alone can't do it. You have got to win the Aga Khan and Nawab Mulk to your side. We know our people full well. If these two gentlemen oppose an idea, the rest of them are bound to oppose it, and nothing will come out of the meeting. The Aga Khan has leanings towards the Congress. In 1927, the Aga Khan disclosed the fact that towards the end of 1905, he was in favor of Muslims joining the Congress. As reported in the Times of India, December 30, 1927, he is not in favor of Muslims starting a separate political organizations of their own. He thinks it is better to have one enemy than to have two. If you isolate yourself that way, you will have to fight against both the government and the Hindus. As for Nawab Mulk, he is definitely of the opinion that the glare of the politics and the charm of the novelty will dazzle the masses away from Aligarh educational institutions. The MAO college will lose its present popularity, that the Muslims are not yet sufficiently educated and are firebrands by temperament, and on that account it would not be advisable to introduce politics into the Muslim masses, and that the tragedy of 1857 should not be lost sight of. He thinks even now the governments are not so much afraid of the Hindus as of the Muslims. He is of the opinion that only a selected few of the Muslims should form themselves into a sort of defense association and work secretly for political emancipation of Muslims. Continuing, the record states, Nawab Imadul Mulk pondered over the subject for a while, put me some more questions, and ultimately decided to be at Aligarh 5 days before the prince and try to bring both of them round, as the Aga Khan would be there too. Here I may mention an incident which puzzled me after finishing with Banaras. Since I had a fortnight's holiday, I went to Bombay for a week and saw Sir Feroz Shah Mehta. We know each other, and in those days when I went to Bombay, I invariably saw him. In course of the conversation, while we were all alone, he told me, "You Mohammedans are about to have a congress of your own. There is no reason why you should not have it. You shall have my sympathy and support. But I tell you one thing, remember it well. Remember it well. Your moderates will be our extremists. You will give a lot of trouble to the government and the Hindus. I shall be glad of it." I did not say anything in reply, but I felt a bit embarrassed and could not conclude whether he really knew anything about it or merely tried to pump me out. In fact, this categorically shows, the other part is remaining over here, but the content that I have read so far in the appendix, it categorically shows that the moderates of the Muslims were considered the extremists for them. The days were very, very difficult for Muslims. Well, the colonial lords were in fact in awe of the Muslims, and any establishment by the Muslims, any development by the Muslims certainly frightened them. The days were very difficult for Muslims, and they were being victimized, their properties were confiscated, and the way was far open for Hindus not only to develop and progress themselves, but also be a separating force, be an exploiting force. And yes, the Muslims were being victimized. They were victimized by the government, and they were victimized by the society. The days were very bad, very difficult for the Muslims.